Welcome to Mexico City, where Chris Cornwell's on pole from the Sims duo of Kazuki and Christian Bentley. Then it's Dominic Hudson, Ica World, Lam Fong and his teammate Vider Alves. Matthew Hart starts 8th from Kimi Nyla and the Dale Coyne duo of Zenzo and Sir Curera. Akari Lopez starts 12th from Guillermo Perez and Ahmed Celia, who's followed by KV Racing's Matthias Antonio. Devin Butler is 16th from Antonio Ponte and the Andretti's of Ray Shen and Francis Austin. Then it's the back 5 of Bronin Animates, Ray Franca, Danny Ortega, Mario Kloske and Dominic Vancelau. Well, we've had an exciting first 10 races of the season. It's time for the back half to begin. All 5 lights go on for round 11 in Mexico. And the Mexico City night race is underway with a great getaway there from the Dragon Racing number 73 of Lam Fong, but a better start from Kazuki Sims as they barrel down into turn number 1. On board we go with the 11, who almost collides with Chris Cornwell. Hudson getting a 5-second time penalty, but I think they've all made it through the opening chicane 2 by 2, and yet somehow clean as pie. Chris Cornwell taking the lead and holding on to it. Sims holding on to second as well, but Christian Bentley's dropped down to 5th place. Vider Alves in that 12 car, doing a very good job to hold on to 7th position as they now string out into single file, it seems. And it's been a very, very clean opening lap, but there was a bit of contact there for Matthias Antonio. Here they come through turns 9 and 10, banging wheels of Perez, and they're both in the wall. Big slide for Brazil's Matthias Antonio as he rejoins the track surface, but he and Guillermo Perez both with major front wing damage. This surely is going to go down as the 3 cars' weakest season. So many rookie errors in what isn't even his rookie campaign. Butler looking to go around the outside of that Chip Ganassi car, and he locks wheels and goes into the wall with Perez as well. This man is an absolute weapon on the track in the worst way possible. Lap 2 of 14 begins with Chris Cornwell holding on to the race lead. On board we go with Austin. They head down that main straight. Brondon Animates going side by side with his fellow rookie Matthias Antonio. That 15 car looking quite quick. Look behind him, Mario Kloske looking quite feisty as well. This isn't even for points, this is a fight for 15th place as Ponte gets a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. We're looking at his teammate Danny Ortega. Perez serving his time penalty and fixing up that front wing as well. Here comes Hudson, looking for not just second but for the race lead. Attack mode's online and Sims and Hudson are both using it to its fullest extent. On board we are with the 31 who's dropping back from Kazuki Sims, and Sims himself dropping away from Chris Cornwell. That 96 car looked very strong in qualifying, but it looks a lot stronger in the race, in race trim, you know. And oh, another yellow. That's for the other Penske of Danny Ortega. It's like he's locked wheels with Ray Franca because both of them now have wing damage to the same side of their car. The back part of the field looking quite unhinged as we begin lap 3 with a flurry of fastest laps. Christian Bentley punches in a fastest lap time, and look at that from Ica World further back. He's going for the lunge. Sims also going for the move to take the lead, but he can't get it. Oh my God! Christian Bentley's gone skyward. Ica World's in the wall. Caution comes out. And that 9 car's caused a bit of a blockade. That could have gone a lot better. That should have gone a lot better. As that 9 car gets back onto the track in 9th position. That moves Lam Fong back up into 4th place as we're now green again here in Mexico City. It's a very different layout to other ERL races held here in Mexico. And it's actually going to be the only night race on this season's ChampCar World Series calendar. They get back onto the main straight. The backstretch, rather. There's 4 real main straights into hard braking opportunities that you get around this track. You've got down into 1, down into 4, coming down through turn 11, I believe, and then the final corner. They are all great opportunities to have a little bit of a battle. It does mean that overtakes are very hard to hold on to as we go on board with Kimi Nyla, whose soft compound tires do seem to be going away from him a little. Sims and Hudson both down to the pits. That elevates Lam Fong up into second position. Cornwell holds on to the lead. Vita Alves in that 12 car comes down into the pits as well, with 10 laps to go. Matthew Hart quite a ways away from Lam Fong. Let's look at that side by side between Sir Carrera and Akari. The Brazilian driver concedes the position. There's just no way that he was going to get a pass made. We go on board with Antonio Ponte, gets covered off by Francis Austin. They make contact in front of him, but it is going to be 7th place for the Italian driver. Ponte now having to hold off Belgium's Mario Kloske, who looks for a podium last time out at his home race, couldn't get it. Now he's looking at 9th place, which technically he already holds down. Zenzo getting a 5-second time penalty for contact with his teammate. That's rule number 1 of racing, as that 19 car darting around, driving a bit like a fly. And his teammate trying to go side by side with him. They've both got attack mode cramped up behind Akari Lopez, and that 91 looks to the inside. This is some great stuff, but if you're a Dale Coyne fan, you've got to be wishing that both of them just don't come to blows going through this final sector of the racetrack, because they are still 2 by 2. Ike World's come down into the pit and now has a track limits warning, and they're still going side by side into the final corner. But I think one of these two is surely going to have to come in, and that one will be Davy Sir Carrera, as Chris Cornwell comes out of his pit box on a set of hard compound tyres, and his teammate Ike World gets a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. No doubt the man in the 9 car getting replaced next season for poor performance. That is the rumours that we're hearing from the Nord Hyperdrive Advanced Racing camp. That was a very late move there, as Ahmed Cilia looking for the best place to try and hold it 3 wide, as that Sir Carrera coming out of the pits in the middle of this battle for 10th place, headed by Akari Lopez. I mean, look at the mid-pack. This is what we often see in the ERL, and it's what we often love to see in the ERL. But the big news coming out of the pits is that Sims has jumped Chris Cornwell coming out of the pits. I say jumped, the margin is minuscule, about a second. Hudson's a lot closer to the Englishman as well. But that's some great stuff. The undercut working down at Sims Racing. Meanwhile, the 78 of Ahmed Cilia trying to defend from Davy Sir Carrera. On board we go with the 19. Looks to the inside as they head down the back stretch. Using some attack mode as well. Can he hold it? He has to dive to the outside. As Ahmed almost cuts off his front wing. He's going to go and duel away with Matthews Antonio instead and take 12th place away from that Brazilian driver in the 89 who hits Sir Carrera, but at least they keep it out of the wall. Lam Fong dives down into the pits. Meanwhile, the fight for the lead really heating up. Chris Cornwell takes the lead on lap 6 of 14. Kazuki Sims Takahana stays in second. That could have got a lot better for the Japanese driver, but when you've got older tyres, there's only really a handful of options that you have. And unfortunately, it was the worst one is Sir Carrera. Well, he is a fly. He is trying to fly through the rest of the pack. But the dimensions of that Dale Coyne car just don't allow it. Just taking a look at the man who has the oldest tyres on the field. Antonio Ponte started this race on the same set of hard tyres that he's currently on lap 6. It's brought him up to 5th place, but he does have a time penalty. He's going side by side with Lam Fong. They bang wheels, they touch. But the Vietnamese driver takes that position as Vita Alves is facing backwards, and Akari Lopez has also been involved in it. It's the big one here in Mexico. They pile up. The Dragon driver dropping down the order. And oh! Big one! Alves and Zenzo are both out. The cautions return here in Mexico. My, oh my. Now halfway through this race. The full course caution's ending as Kimi Naila takes the opportunity to come down into the pits. And we are now green again. I think we'll see Ponte come in. Matthew Hart staying out as we expect. Major wing damage there for Davy Circularo. Not a big day to be a fan of any of the Brazilian drivers, as Matheus Antonio almost hit there by another fellow driver. Ortega at the very back of the pack, running into the back of Guillermo Perez, who comes into the pits. Ortega was given a time penalty for his troubles. 4 laps on the same set of medium compound tyres did not seem to be too worthwhile. 23% as we've got yellows in sector 1. Is that for Rai Franke? It is. He's got front wing damage. But we are very quickly green again, so the Brazilian has hit the wall. Central America. On board with Devin Butler, coming out of the pits in 20th position. I don't know if you guys have been able to hear the car audio too well, as Austin getting a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. But look at Iker. Oh! Big snap! Running into the side of Francis Austin. I thought he hit Vancelau, but he was taking him off the road. But the 9 getting it back on track. With 6 laps to go, his teammate still leads. It's been a wild ride for the Angolan driver. Just take a look at Francis as well. He's got some damage to the side pod. I don't know if that'll be repairable in the pits. Dominic Hudson coming off of his set of soft compound tires. He'll go on to another set of soft compound tires because that's how strategy works. Hey, who allowed Target Chip Ganassi to use another set of softs? Oh, themselves? Yeah, that's good to know. 6 to go from Mexico. Rai Franke coming in, and he'll fix up that front wing, and surely Iker World's also going to come in. If Iker somehow manages to win this race, it will go down in history as one of the most chaotic wins of all time. Casanova Cornwell, well, he's gotten very accustomed to winning races at this level of the Electric Racing League. I think this might be the first time that we'll see this 96 dominate, and if he can continue this form into Formula E, maybe it won't be the last time. It's his sophomore season in ChampCar. It's his first full season in Formula E, so don't expect too much from him there yet. He's just put a lap on his teammate, though, with 5 laps to go. Sims comes in for his second stop. Goes on to another set of hard compound tires. It could very easily be his final stop of the race, but it's softs going on for the Japanese driver. I don't know why these guys aren't using the hard tires at this stage in the race. It would be an easy strategy win to use the hard tires for your final stint. As it stands, if you're not going for the hards, then you kind of have to use a set of softs so that you can come again near the end of the race without having to potentially manage your tires too hard, because we know that these softs, they're not very usable after their 3rd lap of operation. Cloquet coming down into the pits to get off of that set of soft compound tires. In any case, Lam Fong's actually made his way up into 2nd place with the entire pit stop malarkey. And Kimi Nyla now on the back of his teammate. Side by side between the British driver and his countryman from the north, and Nyla with the superior tires just taking that 3rd place with minimal effort. Probably had the team principal of Forsyth Racing over in the radio for Matthew Hart, just telling him not to fight too hard with his teammate. With now 4 laps to go, and what is Iker doing? Why is he fighting his teammate? He's a lap down! Actively trying to ruin his own teammate's race with 4 laps to go. That's one of the most confusing things I've seen in this league in quite some time. And Kimi Nyla's come in for Team Forsyth. They've kept out Matthew Hart, who's on medium compound tires. He can't go any longer as he throws himself across the road in that 21 car. Once again, the Scotsman coming to blows with one of the target Chip Ganassis. This time it's Malaysia's Dominic Hudson who's giving him strife. The green flags wave again, but that 21 and the 31 now both with wing damage, and Kazuki Sims just gets through all of that without even batting an eye, and it's more carnage. Antonio and Circularo both in the wall. Oh, Frankie goes skyward in that 20 car. consecutive numbers as well. But he does get it back on track. They both do. 2 into that corner, just not going if you're banging wheels. Cornwell coming down into the final corner of this track. And he's almost certainly coming into the pits with no full course fellow to help him out. Well, he's only really going to have to be racing this man, Kazuki Sims Takahata, on pit exit. And it is going to come down to the tires on the final lap, I'm sure. Look at Ahmed Celia on the back of Ray Shen. There's going to be a lot of drivers who are thinking about making that final stop soon. I don't think that'll be it for Casanova's brother there. Chris Cornwell is coming out in second place on a fresh set of soft compound tires. But, in my opinion, he needed mediums. Hudson comes in with Hart and Ponte. Sims back up into the race lead, and I think this could be a great day for Sims Racing's flagship entry. As on lap 11, the 11 car does lead, but more than that, they've got the better strategy to be on the soft compound tires at this stage in the race. There's no real reason for that to be your last tire unless you come in around lap 12, and for Sims, that's likely what he's going to do. I don't know how well those soft tires for Chris Cornwell are going to be on lap 14, but looking at Akari Lopez, he should be able to make it. It's just going to be a very sluggish run, and the mediums were just genuinely the better option for the Anglican. Davy Circarara coming out of the pits in front of Ica World. Ike is no longer a lap down at the very least. And look at that, Sims, I think, is coming in. Diving down into the pits then for the number 11. Cornwell will reclaim the race lead on lap 12 of 14. And he's going to have to be managing his tires like a madman. Ahmed Celia running up in 7th. A good day for Conquest Racing with their drivers both in the top 10. This is likely going to be the final time we see some drivers down into pit lane then. Celia does come in. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, if Trackhouse don't pull in the 22, what are they doing? And thankfully, he does come in. Vancelau also comes in, and Ortega also comes down into the pit. So thankfully, this is some good news. This is some great news. I don't think we're going to see any real tire problems today. As you can see, Akari coming out of the pits in front of Perez and Austin. On board we go with the number 3, who bangs wheels with the Italian. They're lucky to keep it out of the wall. But the Spaniard has had one of the most chaotic races of his career for sure. But out in front, Cornwell dominating. His teammate comes down into the pits for what will be his 3rd and final. Meanwhile, that 96 goes on to begin the penultimate lap of round 11. It's the fastest lap as well for the British driver. It's been the easiest race of his career. One on strategy, if he can just bring it to the checker. Look at Ahmed Celia going side by side with both Austin and Perez, 2 of the drivers that you absolutely do not want to find yourself going too wide with, let alone 3, but he does clear them both. Perez with the inside line, can he hold on? He's going to lock wheels with the Italian, and into the wall goes Francis Austin, forced into the barriers by the season 5 vice champion. And on this penultimate lap, a lot of the field actually quite strung away from each other, but look at Brondon Animates for a second, running up in 6th, which is good news for him, but at 24% tire wear. These are the tires that he's going to be finishing this race on. They might finish here. I don't know. He's going to be very lucky if he can bring it to the checker, as Davy Circarara in 18th place, punching in the fastest lap, going side by side with his countrymen. They touch wheels, and they're both in the wall! Ooh! Rai Franca going in to Davy Circarara. That's one way to make an overtake, I guess. As we go on to the final tour here in Mexico, Chris Cornwell has had a great day in the office. His tires, while they are screaming out for dear life, they will hold. They should hold, unlike Brondon Animate, who might face some problems come the middle of the second sector. Kimi Nyler is chasing down Kazuki Sims for the final position on the podium, but looking at the state of his medium compound tires, I don't think he'll get him. Meanwhile, Hudson and Ponte go in side by side and take in 6th position there as the Malaysian. Cornwell ready to put a lap on Davi Circulara and gets it done. He's had a very easy race today as Brodin Animates drops down to 9th place. For the first 9 rounds of the championship, Cornwell was consistent but couldn't take a win. Toronto flipped a switch in the English driver's head that told him, yes, I can go for race wins, and yes, I will go for race wins. He took victory in Toronto, he took victory in Belgium, and now in Mexico City. It's going to be a 3rd win in this amazing ChampCar World Series season for Chris Cornwell, who comes to the line and takes victory in round 11. And look at this for Brodin Animates. 2% heading down into the 10th corner of this racetrack. Coming out of it, it's a long, long turn. He hits 0 and Sims punches in the fastest lap. 0% for the Conquest number 88. His teammate behind him will take 10th place away. But what terrible timing for the Filipino driver. He's got a long margin to Butler and Antonio behind. But then it's most of the field. Shed in 7th, taking the fastest lap away from Sims. And they go 3 wide there. Kloske getting past Perez. The last opportunity. That could have been a lot worse. Vansilao closing in. Can he get past Brodin Animates? To the line they go! And he got him, don't worry. He did get him by exactly 1/1000th of a second. Now we're just hoping that we can get one of those thousandths of a second margins for the race win, because we know it's possible. It's mathematically possible. Here's your podium. Chris Cornwell back on top for the 3rd race in a row. Nord Hyperdrive, as they have done in Formula E, getting another 3-peat. Lam Phong, 2nd, doing an absolute solid for Dragon Racing. And Kazuki Sims helping his team out in what could have been a day that went a lot worse. He is 3rd. As for the rest of your finishes, Kimi Nyler and Matthew Hart, 4th and 5th for Canada's Team Forsyth. Then it's Dominic Hudson, Ray Shen, and Antonio Ponte, the top 8 from Kari Lopez and Armin Cilia. Matthias Antonio, the Brazilian, is the first man not to score points of your finishes. Then it's Mario Kloske, Guillermo Perez, Devin Butler, Dominic Vansilao, Brodin Animates, Danny Ortega, Francis Austin, Ryan Franca, Ray Shen, and Davi Circulara. With the non-finisher being Vita Alves, Zenzo, and Christian Bentley. Chris Cornwell extends his championship lead to 42 points. With just a handful of rounds left to race, Matthew Hart, the real title contender, the only other man who's breached 100 points. I think the men that we do need to look at are everyone in that top 5, because I can see Hudson and Perez and Sims coming back at the English man in the final few rounds. Kimi Nyler in 6th from Matthias Antonio and Christian Bentley. Then it's Ahmed Celias hard on points with Akari Lopez. Then it's Lam Phong. Ryan Franca, his teammate Mario Kloske, Ica World, Danny Ortega, Ray Shen, Brodin Animates, Francis Austin, Zenzo, his teammate Davi Circulara, Devin Butler, Antonio Ponte, Vita Alves, and Dominic Vansilao. In the constructors' standings, heading into the 12th round of the championship in Monterrey, Mexico, Nord Hyperdrive still now leading the way, 175 points. Then it's Forsyth Racing, Target Chip Ganassi, and that Target Chip Ganassi team, in fact, they're almost 30 points up on Sims AAA. Trackhouse Racing, best of the rest, in 5th for the new team to this league. In this phase of the league. Who wrote this script? I'm firing my script writer because this makes no sense. Conquest Racing, 6th from Power Motorsport and KV Racing Technologies. Dragon Racing, 9th from Andretti Autosport, Dale Coyne Racing, and Team Penske. With Dale Coyne and Penske tied on 37 points. what a season we've had. What an amazing season we've had so far, and for Chris Cornwell as well, showing his stuff as it stands. There's only a handful of rounds to go, 4 to go in this ChampCar World Series season. Don't ask why it goes up to 16. And we will see you guys next time then when the Electric Racing League returns.